What is consulting? And maybe more specifically, what do consulting firms do? In this kickoff to our 4-part Intro to Consulting series, I walk through the question, what is consulting, and answer it so that you can understand what the heck you might be getting into if you're thinking about a career in consulting. In addition, we talk about specific types of consulting, specific projects, and the reasons why firms hire consultants. It's an illuminating episode, and we hope you enjoy. Today, we kick off our 4-part Intro to Consulting series by answering the what is consulting question for those of you who are considering or who have decided to pursue a consulting career, but maybe you're not sure what you're getting yourself into. This will also serve as a refresher for those of you who may have pursued consulting in the past, didn't get in, and are coming back for another attempt. The first question that is important to answer is, what is management consulting? And to answer the what is management consulting question, we'll answer a more specific question that will help illuminate the bigger picture, which is, what do consulting firms do? Here's what consulting firms do fundamentally and have done from the very beginning of consulting as an industry in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. Consulting firms solve hairy problems for businesses, nonprofits, governments, academic institutions, and more. Now, originally, these hairy problems were solved primarily by experts. If you were working for an automotive business, you would have spent a career in automotive. If you were working for nonprofits, you spent a career in nonprofits. These were second acts for older, white-haired folks that were advising the very organizations from their position of expertise. But today, management consultants are professional experts who provide solutions and strategies to improve the financial and operational health of an organization, not just by using expertise, which is embedded in the partner level at the firm, but also by using analysis. The recommendations made by management consultants are backed by large amounts of quantitative research, qualitative research, and data. These large amounts of research and data provide the foundation for a systematic, fundamental approach that can be imparted to non-experts, which is why consulting firms can hire undergrads, PhDs, and others that have absolutely no business experience and train them in the ways and the arts of consulting. Now, consulting firms do all of this insight gathering and explaining in project-based work. This is different than firms that are primarily contractors that work on a consulting or a non-employed basis, but are simply outsourced workforce. Consulting firms are project-oriented instead. And 90% of the time, consultants work on these projects with a defined beginning and end, a defined goal, and a defined mission inside the organization. A company scopes out a question it needs to have answered, an issue that it needs to have addressed, or a problem it needs to have solved. And then a consulting firm designs anywhere from a 2 to an 18-month project where information will be gathered and assessed, options are developed, and decisions are made. Sometimes that includes implementation of the ideas or advice, and sometimes it doesn't. Now, why do companies hire consulting firms? Number one, they hire consulting firms to provide an unbiased third-party perspective. Every company has expertise internally, but sometimes multiple stakeholders disagree on what to do. The company will hire a consulting firm to provide a fresh and objective perspective on the business. The stakeholders involved can include the board of directors, the senior managers, divisional VPs, or even line workers. In addition, organizations can become so engrossed in their own biases and perspectives that they can lose the objectivity that is needed to make the best strategic and operational decisions. And this isn't abnormal or bad. Organizations that are primarily focused on delivering customers and solutions, the decisions that have been promised, are not necessarily focused on the long-term strategy of their organization. And consultants can provide an extra layer of insight.
We'll be right back after this quick break.
Investor Group Services is a private equity-focused boutique consultancy that prides itself on fostering a collegial, collaborative, and non-hierarchical culture. The firm puts on regular social events like happy hours, case team dinners, golf excursions, and office visits to Fenway Park to watch the Red Sox. In addition, due to the firm's smaller size, every IGS employee plays a part in the firm's growth and development. IGS pays it back with extensive on-the-job and formal professional development training and mentorship. If you're looking to start or continue a career in consulting, look no further than IGS. Explore current job openings at the link in the show notes or at igsboston.com.
Stax is a boutique strategy consultancy currently hiring for several roles across its 3 U.S. offices. With attractive compensation, fast-paced projects, and the opportunity to be promoted quickly, Stax is an attractive place to start or continue your consulting career. If you're looking for a consulting role in a rigorous environment where you work side by side with senior leaders on engagements across industries and project types, Stax might be the perfect firm for you. Find open positions, plus job descriptions and requirements at the link in the show notes, or on the firm's careers page at stax.com. That's STAX.com.
Number 2, companies hire consulting firms for their specific expertise. Companies hire consulting firms to solve problems and address issues that they do not have the internal capabilities for. Sometimes a firm does a great job of delivering for their own customers, but cannot clearly identify who their competitors are or where they're positioned vis-a-vis their competitors. Sometimes organizations can think about their current operations, but not how to modify their entire supply chain. And this specific expertise can save organizations multiple times the fees of the consulting firms in direct and clear action. Third, companies hire consulting firms for additional credibility. Now, this issue is of major importance for strategic or even for PR reasons. Now, for example, Meta's layoffs recently have been an important piece in the news that were tied to some consulting firms' actions. In this case, the CEO would want the board of directors and, in some cases, even the public to know that a top-tier consulting firm worked with them, offered its advice, and put their stamp of approval. This adds credibility to the decision and also, in some situations, a scapegoat in case the decision does not play out well. Here are a couple of example consulting projects. One is to reverse a revenue decline. This is, of course, a dire situation inside an organization that has even some fixed costs. The second is to build a strategy to enter a new market. The third is to assess an M&A opportunity. These are often private and held to a very small group of people inside both organizations. And number 4, to find, let's say, $100 million or $200 million or maybe even more in cost reduction opportunities. Number 5 is to build a next generation digital marketing strategy, which usually would also include the assessment of your current marketing and specifically digital marketing strategy. And number 6 would be to assess and optimize pricing processes. Of course, there are many other projects, but this is a good set of examples for what management consulting and strategy consulting firms primarily focus on. Now, if you want to break into consulting and you're interested in management or strategy consulting, but you also might be interested in other types of consulting, we have resources for you. We break down not just what is consulting fundamentally, but also what are the different types of consulting and more. You can see our free resources in the show notes, or you can also work directly with us for a specialized, personalized plan. Our Black Belt program for one-on-one coaching, resume edits, and digital resources is world-class, and we can provide you with opportunities that will change the future trajectory of your career. In the next episode, we'll dive into the different types of consulting firms and what the most popular consulting firms are. If you loved this content, please subscribe to our channel and make sure that you're registered for our emails, which give you free insights and discounts. Thanks so much for listening to this episode on the Intro to Consulting. If you want to jump into an offer with Management Consulted, we would love to help you. We can do resume edits, coaching, and even provide you access to our world-class digital resources. You can join Black Belt, or you can buy each one of these individually. Please reach out, team@Management Consulted, for more information. And of course, please subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more great information.